Vox Machina.
Yeah, speaking of TV that we're enjoying.
4, 5, and 6.
Yes.
Okay, question for you, just off rip.
Okay.
Is one in every 3 episodes going to involve something that makes me go,
Check your surroundings.
yeah, I
So,
watched episode 6 on my lunch break at work.
so do you remember last week when I said, oh, there's another saucy scene coming?
Yeah.
This is the saucy scene.
I did not see that coming. Vex gets up and walks, and then Vex just picks up like, I genuinely like.
When I tell you the excitement, so it's slightly tweaked. So
Is it just so it's a little bit less?
No. Slightly
Diabolical.
tweaked in location, which threw me off a little.
Okay.
So with this story at the moment, I've realized going in and checking some things, stories have been a little tweaked in location and when things happen. This originally happened in Whitestone.
Got ya.
Just when they're like lounging, like similar to how it did with that previous evening, still in the castle. And in the live game, it's like Percy, I think, Taliesin, who plays Percy, asks something like, oh, I presume this, like, there's baths and hot water and stuff and we can get clean. They must have done, I forget what had happened just before, but they'd obviously been on some mission.
Got ya.
So he's like, yeah, Matt's like, yeah, there's only a few, so you would rotate, as like, there's less baths than there are of you guys, so Vax is like, oh, I quickly have mine, then I go up and I go find Percy. and Talison's like, oh shit, okay. And I want to preface this now. Taliesin this was not a predetermined plan of what was happening with him and Vex.
Okay.
So Vax comes over.
Did Vex decide this on the fly?
In the moment, and Taliesin somewhat. He says at the end, he's like, I so hoped you were going to do something with this. Wasn't expect. And what makes it great is some of the things he was saying when she did that at the end. Like, he says, oh, I'm working on something here. Which in context makes it even better.
Wild,
and then he's like,
yeah.
Can you just hurry this? But like, so yeah, the whole Vax gets in the bath. They have this talk about his sister. He just gets, and then the line of like, you're getting weirder, you know, is actually from what, and then he gets up, and then it's like, that's when Vex goes, I pop up out of the water.
The line of you held your breath for wild.
Oh, so
I was like,
added,
and then she's like, let's see if you can beat that record. I was like, oh my, I feel like I'm going to get fired for watching this on my lunch break.
That last little bit is added, but like when she does in the live game, when she says she pops up, everyone loses it. And then Liam, who plays Vax, was like, out of character. This was a wild D&D decision, and I have lost a certain level of respect for you. Yeah.
But yeah, that threw me. Especially like in the context of the 3 episodes we'd had, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That is fucking wild. So episode 4, we're hiding from the dragon already? No, we're not. Yeah, no, we are, because we got betrayed at the end of episode 3.
Yes.
So we're in hell. It's all getting a bit mixy. We're hiding from a dragon.
Yep.
Kima might be dead.
Yeah.
We don't know. And we go through this whole story for then that to be at the beginning of episode 5. I'm like, that is such. So now I'm just scared of what's going to happen in episode 9. I feel like it's going to escalate again.
So now I'm trying to remember if there's another like seriously saucy.
I really thought it was going to go from that into Vax and Keyleth sorting their shit out.
Oh, don't.
And I was going to be like, no, this is too much for one episode.
I think that I can't remember like another moment like that. There is the moment when Vax kind of pieces it all together that she was in the bath. Whether they do that in the animated show of like him suddenly realizing she was in the room, like what all those different situations, he was realizes, wait a second. Something that I think it was a reference. So the song in episode 6 when they go into Scanlan's. So
Very cool song, by the way.
Scanlan's magical door was like a spell that he got, which lets you open
It's
a magical
pocket
door.
dimension, I assume.
Yeah, essentially. I forget when he got it, but then they
I
used
love
it
the gag, by the
consistently.
way, of just Grog going like this and just finds a door in the rubble.
The song in the interior is definitely amped up compared to I think how
Yeah.
he described it in the thing. But that song, there's a moment at the end of the song when they're all jumping into the pool, and then Keyleth jumps and turns into a goldfish.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because I don't know if that's the only reference they're going to do of this.
Okay.
And I'm going to presume it might be, but it might show up later.
Just because it's a bit too outrageous, you think?
Well, it's... Okay, so there's a famous moment from the live game where they're at the top of some cliff. I can't remember why, and they need to get down to the water that's like 1,000 feet below. The others are just away from the cliff edge doing something, and it's just Vex and Keyleth. And Keyleth says, well, we're gods, and swan dives off this cliff. Matt's face is like, okay.
He's like, you've just killed your character for no fucking reason.
He's like, right, let me explain. And he's like, makes it very clear that the cliff's not like straight down, it's like an angle. He's like, you look like you're gonna, because she didn't roll very well. So she's like, oh, I'll do a gust of wind to push me away. He's like, okay, cool. He's like, you may hit the wall, you may hit where like the waves are hitting the rocks, like you can't tell. And it's like, I need you to make a decision because they're like conferring. And then she goes, I get nervous and I turn into a goldfish. And then everyone else is like, a goldfish?
It's less hit points.
No, they're like a flying fish and glide, a
Yeah, just turn
bird.
into a bird, yeah.
Like-
which she does all
like
the time.
A goldfish. Like, well, in the water, like. And Matt goes, well, doesn't matter about all that because you've said a goldfish. And he's like, I need to roll some dice. Now, he put it in the... I remember after the fact, he like tweeted a comment saying he forgot a ruling on fall damage from... Basically, you're meant to do 1d6 per 10 foot of falling. She fell 1,000 foot. That actually caps out at 20d6. He forgot that ruling and rolled it as 100d6. He's like, you're dead. You're dead. He's like, I know your hit points. This is more than double your hit points. You're dead. And she's like, what? they're all just shocked. Like, wait, what? And Matt's like, yeah.
There is no plot armor here.
It's like, Vex, you look down and it's just blood and... So then there's the whole... But that became a meme of like, she went, we're gods, jumps off, turns into a goldfish, splat. And I don't know if that's the reference that they're only going to do or if they actually will show. I don't know, because I can't remember timelines.
How they rectify her dying.
But yeah, they almost... Now, they might still show this, and I got very excited for a moment of the breakfast in the door, because there's chicken. And that was like... They woke
again,
up,
Grog killing me with the, but what came first?
Chicken, and he's like, eggs are like chickens, just not chickens yet. Wait, what came first, the chicken? But
it's such a funny way to play a dumb character.
The food thing, I'm pretty sure it could, like, the spell is, it's like, there is food and stuff. And that was probably the first time they used it. I think Sam was like, oh, there's breakfast. And he's like, and Matt goes, well, what food would there be? And Sam just went, just chicken. It's like a joke, like, and then it became like a thing of this only makes this just chicken. Only chicken. There is a moment with a bit of chicken and a bit of a game that results in someone rolling a nat 1. This is a very funny situation that I hope. When they showed the chicken, I was like, oh my god, they're gonna do this. They're gonna do this scene, and they didn't. So I'm hoping it still comes. I've realized as well from last week, some things have been changed about how they got this Dawn Martyr plate.
Okay.
For the better, in my opinion. So I went back and I was trying to piece together, like, because I felt like things felt different.
Yeah.
In the live game, they actually went to the city of Brass, which is in the elemental plane of fire, not the Nine Hells. In this, they've gone to the city of Dis, which is in the Nine Hells. They were sent there by Jamon Sorod for this, but in the live game, they were sent there by the Sphinx. They got that information back then. Now, why I actually think it's better in the one, they just go to the elemental plane, they find the person that apparently has it. Scanlan challenges them to a game of cards, loses 4 times. Then's like,
loses 4 times is so funny.
Then it's like, what if we fight this pit fiend that killed your wife? And they're like,
got ya.
Make a deal in that way. So they have to fight a pit fiend, which a pit fiend is like a crazy thing to fight. So in this, instead, it's like they've gone to... Now, I don't want to spoil anything about Xerxes, the character that Pike plays this chance of fate or whatever against. But you've heard me talk about the Calamity miniseries.
Yes.
This is a added rewriting of this story to pay homage to what happened in that campaign, because everyone looked, and it was obviously that come after the fact.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to have very large implications for Pike as a character.
A lot more depth to the story that Pike goes through, and this, in my opinion, makes it way better. I don't want to ruin about Xerxes, because you need to experience, like, you need to at some point go watch the Calamity series and experience what happens in those few 6 episodes. But that suddenly all clicked, and I was like, holy shit, they're using the Calamity shit and reworking this. Now, when they do it when they meet Jamon Sword in the live game, they do something else for him, and they earn a flute that's quite important. I wonder now how they're going to get that. Because that's something that's used later on for an important moment. So potentially something there. The Yank thing, being his bodyguard, didn't click at first till they was fighting the dragon. But when they fought the dragon in the live game, Scanlan summoned a demon from hell. Because he's like, shit, we need help. Or we need something. He then cast Dominate Monster on the thing and made it fight the dragon. So that's where that came from. It was very cool to get that in like animated of just two
watching
beasts.
Grog and Scanlan be like, this is fucking awesome, and sat there staring at it and almost fucking dying was so funny.
It's like when people watch like serious wrestling show and like something smashes this and I'm like, yeah.
Really fucking
it was
cool.
very good. I mean, the fight, so like the whole fighting the dragon was very cool. The Whitestone stuff also was sick. I think I know where they're setting things up to go with Scanlan.
Yeah.
And I hope, I'm sure they will. There's a pretty pivotal scene that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're building up to that. And emotionally, I'm not ready for that. So you need to prepare yourself, because I think that is going to be this season.
Okay.
Maybe at the end of the season, I don't know. But yeah, this is so good. I'm really enjoying it.
That is my only complaint about the show so far. It's 12 episodes, which means we've got the episodes that came out today as we're recording, which we've not watched, and next week, and then we're done.
Mm-hmm.
That is not respectful to the show.
It felt very quick. I would have preferred...
Yeah, it's 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is disrespectful.
I don't know why they've chose... Because they'll have chose to do it this way.
I imagine it's for arcs. Like, the first 3 episodes dealt with, like, an adventure. The next 3 have dealt with an adventure. So I'm sure there is some logic to it. I'm just saying, personally, it sucks arse.
I would much prefer a weekly release.
Yeah. And if they really don't want to have it take up 12 weeks, doubles. Start with a double, finish with a double. There you go. It takes 10 weeks.
The thing is, though, it's like, their fandom was used to waiting every Thursday for the next,
Yeah.
and that was like they got through hardly anything compared to what one episode gets through. It's
Yeah,
like an
exactly.
episode, like that was like 4 hours of sat watching D&D condensed
Yeah.
down into like 20 minutes.
Yeah, the any
fandom is
fight
there.
scene in 5e that
Yeah.
might last 5 minutes is going to be a 3-hour D&D session by
Oh, yeah, like-
itself, at least.
That dragon fight in the Yank was probably one session.
Yeah.
Just that fight. So it's like the fandom's more than happy to wait. I don't know why they've chose the free thing. I do think that is a bit of a letdown with how the show's going.
Yeah.
Other than that, I am
I
enjoying
would
it.
love so much to be hanging on every moment of this when we discuss it, waiting for the next episode.
I wonder if they'll try something different with the Mighty Nine series.
I hope so. I hope. I think other than a double bill to launch a new season and maybe a double bill to end a season if it makes sense, multiple drops of an episode at a time is bad. It worsens the experience.
Yeah, it's a interesting choice doing free.
You can say a shit choice.
No, well, no, because I don't think it's because I'm also the sort of person that I don't mind like the whole season being dropped in one go and just binging it all.
But
Like,
I think binging is actually better than 4 episodes of 3 weeks. Because if you're binging it, if you love it, you can watch it all, and then you can go and tell people while it's still hot.
yeah, I think
We still got to wait 4 weeks to have seen it all before we feel confident recommending it.
I think for me with this is tough because it's like I don't necessarily think this is shit because I kind of know stuff that's coming.
Yeah.
So it's like
you're not actually waiting for the story, you're just waiting to see how they show it.
I'm waiting to see if things get put in.
Yeah.
Which obviously gives me a different perspective on it. It's I can see why you wouldn't necessarily like the free week though.
I find it disrespectful to a lot of hard work going into an animated project. Animated projects take ages. So to go, we're going to get all this done in 1 month.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Is weird. Moving on.